Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey there, Post+Institute. This is Kristi, Saul, the co-founder, coming at you live for the best little parenting show on the internet. I hope you guys are doing really well this evening. I'm going to plug these books real quick. Brian's book, From Fear to Love, that you can get on promotion at feartolovebook.com. Then we have this. You can also get this on our website and also on Amazon. Then we have this incredible workbook that we are working diligently to get it in print for you guys. It is in print on Amazon and it's available as an ebook on our website. And then lastly, this book, The Great Behavior Breakdown. And then I want to also let you guys know that we have these two as a package on our website as well. That's a good way to get them at a discount. So, boy, I just walked in the door. We've been on the road for medical appointments. And during my drive, I kept just meditating and praying and thinking about what my message tonight is. And I just keep coming back to the topic of sexualized behavior in children and sexual abuse in general. And in fact, if you don't know this, we have a really cool membership called the New Parenting Love Illusion. It has over 50 hours of education plus a private Facebook group. And last night I did an impromptu consult. It was kind of one of those, again, I just felt called to do it. I'd been thinking about it. And I just kind of was wrestling with my worth and wrestling with what can I bring each month to those people in service and sharing and teaching. And so it just sort of happened very organically, but now we're going to do it every month. And so this month, my topic, I'm going to do an educational piece where I teach about sexual abuse, sexualized behavior in children, some of the impacts of sexual abuse that I have seen over the years and things that we can do to help create safety and healing. So obviously it's just really on my heart. This topic is really on my heart. And so my topic tonight is, are our children more vulnerable to predators? And I feel like yes, the answer is yes. Children who come from tough places, and I say that it's a broad stroke, so it's overgeneralized, and I own that. But let me tell you why my answer is yes. Children who come from tough places are more vulnerable to sexual predators. One reason is many of them have already experienced sexual abuse. And so I feel like that makes them vulnerable to to sexual energy and to adults who are willing to bypass their souls for pleasure. Our bodies tend to respond to sexuality in a biological manner. And so when children have already been exposed to sexual content and have been sexualized early in life, then their bodies are prone to respond to further sexual advances. The other thing to weigh in on this, and if you guys have thoughts about it, feel free to share your thoughts. I'd like to hear your thoughts about this as well. The other thing that I weigh in on is when we have questions about our worth and our value, then that makes us very prone to respond to the advances of people who don't have our best interest at heart. So if I question my value and someone comes up in my social media DMs and they're like, oh, you're really pretty. How old are you? Do you have a boyfriend? Oh, you look really cute in that dress. I'd really like to see you in a bikini. You see how that's going to go, right? So when we question our value and we don't have healthy adults pouring into us, then that creates a scenario where a child is more prone to accept those invitations because of the need for just to get our feel-good need met. The need for affirmation, the need to feel good enough, the need for someone out there in the world to validate us. I feel like that's a really big issue. And I find it, here's something I find to be interesting, and I've ran across this several times in working with families, and families who are in the process of becoming trauma informed, or they feel like they're trauma informed. And then when issues around sexuality come up, everybody freaks out. Everybody freaks out. Everybody freaks out so bad that then we're not able to really attend. It's like, we're just like, don't, right? Ah! As opposed to, wait a minute, what's going on that would lead you to want to have a conversation with someone that you don't even know? You don't even know if that's a real person. You don't know who this person is just because they say that they're 14. You don't know that they're 24, 34, 54. You don't know. You have no idea who's on the other side of that screen. So it's interesting because it's not just children. Our brains are very vulnerable to all of that. Like, if you ever watch like Catfished, and then you realize that the endorphins that get flowing, it's like what's really happening is we're entering into a love affair with our own endorphins, with the chemical rush that's taking place in our brain. And it's getting connected to somebody on the other side of the screen, but in reality, we don't really even know who that person is. And people do all kinds of stuff, right? They do all kinds of stuff. And even, I mean, I'm not saying this isn't just a child issue. This is an adult issue as well. You know, well, there's stories of people sending thousands and thousands of dollars to somebody overseas that they felt like they were completely in love with, but they never even had video chat with them. They're not, like, they don't even really know who it is that they're talking to. But it's, what's happening is our brains are getting flooded with that dopamine. We were talking about that last week. And so to layer on that, many of our children have a depleted state of the hormones out of trauma, the hormones that help us feel good, like our not just hormones, but hormones and neurotransmitters. So our serotonin and our dopamine, those are our neurotransmitters, and our hormones of cortisol, that feel-good hormone. And when those things are depleted in our system out of trauma, then we are more likely to get latched in to these things that make us feel good, even if they're external and even if we don't really know that they're real. Our brains are really powerful. They're really powerful. And people who are predators know that. So are our children more vulnerable to predators? And I think the answer is yes. And I think that we're going to talk about this a whole lot more. So I'm going to stop there for tonight. I want you guys to let some of that percolate, and we're going to go into it more. And if you're interested in being a part of the training that I'm going to do for the New Parenting Levolution, you're going to have opportunities to join that membership, and there'll also be opportunities just to buy tickets just for that event. But if we don't talk about it, then we can't wrap our brain around it, and we can't identify how we need to help our children. And helping them isn't just about telling them not to talk to strangers. We have to address this issue underneath of not feeling good enough, about needing affirmation and getting those needs met in ways that are healthy. If we don't figure out how to meet those needs, then our children are likely to be hooked up talking with people on the internet that are not healthy for them and do not have their best interest at mind. They're just there to bypass their soul for their own sexual pleasure. And so we have to start getting our fingers on the pulse of this. And so this is, it's not the easiest topic for me to talk about, but we're going to. That's what we're going to do. So for this month, or at least for this week, that's going to be something that we focus on, and we're just going to explore it. We're going to talk about it, and we're going to see if we can grow together, for the benefit of our children. We have to start being able to talk about these hard things. So if you've not already done so today, go give yourself a little bit of time and then go spend time with your children. They really, like, when I start talking about how the need for them to feel loved is so important, because they do. They need to feel loved. And I know we fuss at them. I know sometimes they get on our nerves. I know sometimes they're not doing what we want them to do. And so we get into this place where it's combative. And that's part of what makes them even more susceptible. So at some point, set aside everything you've been fussing about, everything you've been trying to teach about, everything you've been worried about in your mind. Set all of that aside and go spend 30 minutes to an hour playing with your kids in whatever way you play in your family. It could be a game. You could play some catch. You could be wrestling around on the floor. You go take a walk. It could be a board game. It could be you watching them play their computer game. It can be watching TV. It can be throwing the ball, shooting some hoops. It could be flopping on their bed while they're looking at their phone and you're asking them what's going on in their phone life. Whatever it looks like for your family, it is so important that every day we spend a little time with them outside of the tasks and just helping them feel how much we really love them. Because if they don't get it from you, they're going to look for it from somebody else. So it's really important. It's really important. And remember what Brian tells us, in any given moment, we can act out of our blueprints of stress and fear and overwhelm. Or we can take 1 to 2 to 3 deep breaths and we can choose love. Much love to you guys. I hope you have a blessed evening and we'll see you all tomorrow.